What are we doing here, man?
Stupidest thing we've done.
I can't get over how academic you're trying to be about this. Perhaps my feelings.
Perhaps.
Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Bad Movie Day. I'm Ankit.
I'm Munir.
I'm Munir. I was rewatching some of our older Neil Breen episodes.
I do that too sometimes.
Yeah,
before I go to bed.
They're fun, you know?
It's nice to fall asleep too.
So it got me thinking. We've seen like every Neil Breen movie at this point, even Cade, The Tortured Crossing, the latest one. So I thought it could be fun if we did a tier list for Neil Breen.
Tier list.
Ranking his movies based on a specific set of criteria. It's not best to worst, because if you're familiar with Neil Breen, you know there's no best. It's just...
And there's definitely no worst.
No. So I think it would be fun for us to kind of like just talk about what we think is the definitive ranking in our minds.
Yes, the definitive Bad Movie Day tier list.
Yeah.
This is our kind of our own. It's not some kind of something you have to conform to. So it's just something for us to kind of have fun with and get you guys in on this discussion. I'd love to hear people's tier list in the comments.
I can't wait to see the comment war that explodes at this.
Yeah, so let's kind of lay down the parameters here. So obviously, it wouldn't make sense for us to do, as Ankit said, to do worst and best.
Yeah.
Those terms don't fit into a typical Neil Breen film. So what I was thinking is, an S tier for a Neil Breen film, to me at least, is a film that is the least coherent.
Right.
And as you go down on the tier list, you get to like E tier. That is the most coherent Neil Breen film, in the sense that you can watch, an average viewer can watch it and sort of understand what's happening. But if it's an S tier, you have no fucking clue what's happening.
So S tier, least coherent film.
Yes.
Totally balls to the wall.
Yeah.
That's like, all right, Neil, that's you.
Yeah.
E tier is, okay, makes a bit of sense.
Yeah.
People might enjoy this. People might have some sort of like...
understanding
Okay.
of what's happening. Okay, so let's go through these movies in chronological order. So we're gonna kick things off with Double Down.
Yeah, so
Released.
just so I'll point at the item so people know. So yeah, Double Down, and then it's I Am Here Now, I'm guessing.
Yep.
From that thumbnail.
Exactly, yep. So I'm Here Now, Fateful Findings, Pass Through, Twisted Pair, and
Cade, The Tortured
Cade,
Crossing.
The Tortured
All right.
Crossing.
People need to know their bearings because these thumbnails are just Neil's face.
They are quite small.
It's the same fucking face.
All right, so Double Down. That is the very first entry in his films. This is the one where he plays a secret assassin, and the kind of the one thing you think about when you think of this movie, for me, is the tuna.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right? A lot of droning shots of him just running around.
Right.
And I took some notes here. So it's, I don't know, something about some magic stone that has healing powers. It starts off as an assassin movie.
Yeah.
And at some point, this magic stone gets introduced and he starts healing people with it.
Yes, but I remember with that film, the magic stone concept got dropped really quick.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like it was introduced like halfway through the movie and then kind of forgotten about.
Right.
And the ending, I thought, it was him running down the cliff, just screaming incoherently, which you lost it at that point. That was some great stuff.
Side note, I'm hoping I get Tortured Crossing was filmed during COVID, so he had to do it at home, but I love Neil Breen out in the wild.
Yeah.
You know?
The chance that you could run into him, I think is very tantalizing. In terms of just like how much sense it makes, it is kind of straightforward as a movie, I would think, because it's just him being some kind of assassin trying to take down what was it, like some government or like corporate overlords as you do. The magic stone stuff, I don't know what he was thinking with that. It was just a wrench in the middle of the whole thing. As we go on, from one movie to the other, this character is so basic compared to them. He's just an assassin for hire. That's it. He's not extraterrestrial. He's not a robot.
Right.
He's not God. He's just a guy.
Right.
And that's easy for you to like absorb and pick up right away. So in my opinion, if we're talking about where we would put Double Down on the tier list, this is easily an E. Like entry-level movie that a casual viewer can watch and be like, that was kind of shit. Right. But that's it. You're not going to question your existence after that. You're not going to hate yourself.
Yeah. I would agree.
You would agree?
I would agree.
Okay. So first entry, Double Down on the Neil Breen tier list is an E on the coherency scale.
Okay.
And we'll see how this changes.
Yeah, we might have to move it around. Yeah.
I didn't really pre-plan this, so maybe we'll encounter something here that makes more sense. That we'll move things around.
Yeah, we're gonna get to Fateful Findings, and we're gonna be like, you know what? This makes total sense.
All right,
E.
Yeah, everything's gonna be E. All right, so number 2 on the release schedule, we have I Am Here ... Now. This was the one where he plays, I described them in my notes here as biblical cyborg Jesus. Yeah. This one was a little bit more on the boring side, I thought.
I'm shocked you said this is the most boring. This is actually my favorite.
It's your favorite?
Yeah, if we were doing a list of like least favorite to favorite, this would be number 1. I rewatched the episode of ours.
Interesting.
And I just, like, seeing me in literal tears over the gang bit. Everything for that movie, wasn't just like the gang bit, right? It was like the old man in the wheelchair. And we just were like, that's Neil Breen's dad. And we just like went off on that tangent. The creepy pool scene where it was just like the 2 women flopping around and it seemed like there was no rhyme or reason to it. Neil Breen was just like filming them.
Yeah. It was...
The one girl banged her head against the pool. He had the mask. It was all over the place. I loved it. Okay. I loved it.
So where do you think we should put this one?
I think, if this is the scale for coherence, I do think the Jesus cyborg bits and the Morbius bits didn't really make much sense, but I don't think it impacted the overall story. Because I remember the whole Jesus bit, it only it was a little bit at the beginning, and then at the end, he kind of like wipes out all the CEOs, right? So it was only bookended by those. In the middle, he was just kind of like there, watching all this go down.
Right.
So for like 80% of the movie, it was
these other characters.
Other characters just like fucking and doing drugs and as they do. I feel comfortable putting it at a D.
Yeah. No, that's a good one. Yeah. I would agree with that. Okay. That was I Am Here Now. D tier.
Yes.
On the coherency list. It'd be funny if it just kind of
follows it. You see his descent into madness. The more he makes films, the more confidence he gets.
Okay, 3rd entry, probably his most famous, Fateful motherfucking Findings. This one really did center around the magical stone.
Yes.
And he got separated from his childhood friend, gets into like a car accident, or like someone runs him over rather, ends up in a hospital where his childhood friend just so happens to be a doctor that works there. And the movie's kind of leading up to them reuniting as lovers. So in between all that, there was the trash bag room. Which I assumed was like him going into the stone or something.
Yeah, like when every time he grasps the stone, he gets put into like this void.
Realm. Yeah. And there was some funny characters here. There was obviously his neighbor and his insane wife. Her silicone breasts. Her acting was horrendous. It really took me out of it.
You bastard!
You bastard! Shoots him like, that whole storyline was nuts.
There was like the witch, the broom closet witch.
And then, of course, the bookend for this movie was the press conference.
Yes,
where he just goes, nuclear on all the conspiracies and cut interspliced scenes of the CEOs killing themselves.
Yeah, like mass suicide on a global scale.
And then he just ends up with his childhood friend. So this one was all over the place. You can't just sit down and watch this once and have any sort of idea what is happening. I think the problem with him is that, and all of his movies actually, is just that he's too ambitious for his own good. Why have this whole magical stone storyline with like the other realm and like the woman in the broom closet who like disappears too?
Remember there's also the like ghost that was walking around the house.
Oh yeah.
It had the feet disappear.
Totally forgot.
Yeah.
So in terms of placement, this one has a lot going on. You talk about like it being Breeny. This one is like it's so iconic. It's an A.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely higher up on the list because I find he was trying to do too much and none of it was fitting. He wanted to do the hacker bit, and merge it in with a publishing deal. Merging it in with the magic stones, which merged in with like the witch and
then you have ghost. The personal story of like his wife and his friends. that also was just thrown into the mix.
Yeah,
where it didn't need to.
I agree. I think A for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it's an S. I think there's some weirder shit, but definitely is up there.
Okay, so Fateful Findings A on the Neil Breen tier list. Okay, next up, Pass Through. This one, he plays Till, the alien AI creature. There was a whole bit about the smuggling of the illegals. I mean, I say illegals, but they fucking spoke perfect English. I don't know what that was about. Were they leaving the country? Were they coming into the country? And it was all just country. It was not the United States. It wasn't Canada or whatever.
Right.
So there was that. There was the obviously the cocaine drug operation, as all these movies do, thrown in there.
You're missing the biggest part. I'm talking about the tiger.
The tiger.
Is that on your list?
That is at the very beginning here. I said prehistoric caveman, and then I also added
in brackets tiger.
So that came into play a little bit later on too, right?
Yeah.
But this one I wrote here as a note: directionless wandering. There was a lot of things happening that were like important, that were just kind of and then shots of Neil Breen walking. Nothing else. There's no music. There's no action. It's just him walking.
Yep.
And he goes onto the TV station, declares that, everyone's all fucked or whatever. And then, of course, the mass murder at the end of the movie where the piles of bodies are lined up. This one, Pass Through.
Yep.
What do you think? Like, what's your...
To me, it's S.
To you, it's an S.
To me, it's the S.
Okay.
The main reason I'm saying that is because I think you forgot about it and it's not on your list, and rightfully so. Remember that whole subplot about like the ghost and having the shadowy figures, and at the end it was like a marine, like a war veteran who was holding some hoses.
Oh, right.
That's the one thing that stood out for me for that movie, for how like completely cast aside it was. He like started doing it and then he was like, never mind.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So to me, Pass Through is his most incoherent film because I feel like he put the least amount of effort into it. All the aimless wandering, him spinning around in a circle. Like I feel like 90% of that movie is him just like taking a bunch of shots and trying to make a story out of it after the fact.
No, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like some of the ones we're gonna look at later maybe have, I don't know, like it really gets out of control as the movies go on. And I feel like maybe we could put two movies in the S tier list. It's possible. It's not like we're I don't know. Maybe what do you think? Do you think is it possible to do that?
Or I don't know.
Are ones more?
I think this is where science. This is as
okay.
We're doing a service here. We need to filter ourselves and come to the truth.
Show me the case studies. Yeah. Which university did you show this movie to?
If this list is based on coherency,
yes.
I feel like as weird as the other movies are, he does set up the playing field for it to happen. As weird as Twisted Pair is, he sets it up from the start that they are twins separated at birth.
Yeah.
They become like genetically enhanced and now they are like super beings, right?
Yes.
So when all the weird shit is happening, at least it's like, okay, I get why it's happening.
Okay.
I can follow along. Pass Through, I just feel like has the least amount of like threads that it can connect to.
Okay.
To me, it feels like the most random film. And then at the end, when he does his huge spiel in the new studio, to me, I'm like, he just like ran out of ideas and just like blurted his most deeper inner thoughts to the world.
Okay.
So to me,
that's an S tier.
That's an S.
Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, no, you make some really good points. Because like, now that I'm looking down the list, like if I've looked through the list of like Fateful Findings, you can sort of see one thing kind of leading to the other. This one here, like I literally wrote prehistoric caveman, ancient being from the future, smuggling illegals, cocaine, directionless wandering, ancient burial grounds, that whole thing too. Like, what the fuck? Blowing up the rich people, taking over the TV station, mass murder, like how to get from caveman
right to Aurora Borealis mass murder. Yeah, it's in the notes when you're just follow your chicken scratch. My God,
it was right here in front of me this whole time. Okay, no. So
again, list can change, but I think
you make it
we should put the stake in the ground for S and then debate against that as the S.
Let's stick it there right now and move Pass Through.
Yes,
S tier.
I will say the last thing though, which makes it even more of an S tier, is how, for some reason in this movie, he looks the most like weak. Like physically, he just looks out of it, you know? So I feel like even he was like not in it 100%. He was just like dehydrated.
Right.
Having like heat stroke from all the sun shots.
Yeah, because he is a lot of the time he is spent outside in like this like.
And his hair is like. Yeah.
Right. So no. Even like in the later movies, he does look a little healthier.
Exactly.
Even though he's older.
Yes.
He at least has a bit of meat on his skinless like bones.
He's got some color back.
Yeah. But no, that one he does look a little dehydrated. Okay. So next up, Twisted Pair. Ooh. This is the first part of a duology, actually. One cannot exist without the other, same as the twins. Okay, so this one opens up with the Wakanda Afterrealm.
Yep.
You're watching this, you're like, what? What is this? So yeah, you talked about it a little bit, the cyborg twins that were kidnapped at a young age, genetically enhanced, and they're kind of out there saving the world and doing up to all sorts of no good. So yeah, this one was like the one twin who's like his life's all put together and he's like successful, and the other one's
the gremlin.
The gremlin.
Yeah.
His wife or his like girlfriend or whatever is a drug addict, and they're the famous fight scene on the bed, of course. I really do want to put this one like at an A tier, I think.
Okay.
Maybe move Fateful Findings down a little bit, even though it's like his magnum opus.
Right.
This is like, it's the green screen that really kills me with this one. It's too much.
Right.
You know?
But is the green screen, does that affect the coherence, or is that just his ambition getting ahead of him that he wants to keep that in? But like, did the scene make sense?
It did. The reason why I'm saying it and I'm highlighting it is because it was like there was this pixie in like a theater.
Yeah.
And there was like footage of pass-through.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Completely forgot about the fairy and the dude, like the villain, right? Who like he turned some stuff into diamonds.
It was like diamonds.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Honestly, I was against you until you said fairy. Then I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
The fairy. I'm starting to see where you're coming from.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree, A or B. I'm always wondering if Fateful Findings should get pushed down to the B. Or even a C. Because now I know what's coming.
Oh, yeah.
I know Cade Torture Crossing's coming.
Once everything is set in stone, we can
all right
move things around. So
okay. I, in the spirit of not moving around, B.
Just putting it at B. Okay.
Nah, that's an A.
So move. There we go.
There we
go. And last but not least, the sequel, Cade, The Tortured Crossing, came out last year. We found out that Cade's been, doing his little superhero shtick since the last time we've seen him.
Yeah.
The nucleus of this movie is the hospital.
Yeah, that he funded.
And there's been some gene editing experimentation going on.
Yeah.
How did he miss that? And this is just the third point here, the tiger fight.
Yes.
Good God. Okay? If you haven't seen that, go look up that clip by itself and just lose your mind.
Watch our episode. Yeah. Don't watch somebody else's YouTube video. Watch ours. Like it, comment, subscribe.
Watch our reaction as we're just our jaw hits the floor when that happens. And then there's the farting piano I wrote. That came up a few times and just, there was no setup for that and there was no payoff for that.
Just unrelated. I'm loving that you're trying to make all this sound like well thought out, and you're being like farting piano, right? Gene editing, like this is some high grade hypothesis.
I was in the corner and like, oh,
yes, farting.
You don't.
All right, buddy, you do you.
Yeah.
You do you, King.
This is gold. I'm putting this on eBay for thousands of dollars.
Yes, please point at your notebook again and tell me you should be following along.
That's how my brain works, bro. Training martial artists.
Yes.
Near the end.
Yeah.
Okay, came again, just wasn't set up because his whole thing in that movie was like trying to control the fucking gene editing catastrophe.
Yeah, and it became like a holy war at the end.
What? Just a crazy ass fight scene. And then everyone died.
Yep.
Except Neil. Winged Warrior made her grand entrance.
Right.
Again, no setup.
I am the Winged Warrior.
No payoff. No explanation.
And then he took her wings.
He did.
Remember the cops were like, what's that? He's like, it's the Winged Warrior.
Wings of the Winged Warrior. Carry on.
Honestly, I forgot how batshit that movie is.
See, that's the thing. like when you said Pass Through is S tier,
Right.
that surprised me. Like to me,
Yeah.
it's like this is peak.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think it's because we saw it the most recently. I was trying to like go back and almost like see, like rationalize some of the older stuff, right? Like go through the archives. But no, it's clear as day on your notepad.
Right there. Zoom in on that. Right there.
Party piano.
So I think definitively this is the most Neil Breen film ever. Yeah. So if we put it on an S tier, that means we have to shuffle some things around.
All right.
Little C tier looking a little cold down there.
Right. Okay. Okay.
I do want to put Fateful Findings in C. Even though it really is like, I think it had like the best production value.
Right.
The camera work was not offensive. And things were moving along fairly smoothly. You know?
Right. I don't know. I still feel I can't believe I'm going to defend Twisted Pair.
Oh my God. What have you done to us, Neil?
I still think Fateful Findings, his ambition got too far away from him.
Okay.
You know, I still feel if you were to watch like each part of the film in a vacuum, you wouldn't be able to tell they were the same movie. Like if you were just to watch like the neighbor drama, if you were just to watch the love story, if you were just to watch the magic stones, they would be like completely different, and there would be nothing tying them together. I still feel Twisted Pair was in line a little bit more. It wasn't a straight line. Okay. It was very curvy, but it got to the destination.
I think for me, the sticking point for me is just like conceptually, like the idea of like the twins and like the cyborgs and like that to me just, I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way. Because like
it's not about your feelings.
We have to make it objective.
There's a man's reputation at stake.
I get it, okay? It's just, I don't know, man. Like this, he excels in this type of role, like the Fateful Findings role, where it's a little bit more grounded. You know, when it starts to get like sci-fi and stuff like that, it starts to lose me. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe that's just my feelings talking. Okay,
I think so.
Perhaps I'm letting my feelings fog.
What are we doing here, man?
Stupidest thing we've done.
I can't get over how academic you're trying to be about this. Perhaps my feelings.
Perhaps. We are beholden to the scrolls.
The sacred text.
I got this from Florida, actually. This is at the hotel.
Yeah, there's a stamp of a hotel. There's an address. Did you have fun on your sunny vacation?
I did, actually.
Your wife's like, come on, we have to go out and explore. You're like, no.
I spent 5 days in Orlando, Florida, coming up with this list. 1 day per movie.
Look at me. I'm a mess. This is because of you.
I'm gonna blame you because you put some fucking fumes in here.
Yeah, that's true. I was trying to
show them that. That's some Gugon. And I
was trying to do some home improvement because I forgot we were filming.
Yeah.
And
this whole room smells like an industrial power plant.
It literally says on the bottle, use in a well ventilated area, and the doors are closed.
There's 2 doors that are closed. The window's closed back there. I'm a feet away from the wall.
This academic research is tainted.
We have to do this again. Okay. Back on topic.
Perhaps.
Okay, you know what? I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
I'm going to give it to you. We're going to put Fateful Findings in the A tier. Move it back up.
No, Fateful Findings, move it down to the C.
Oh, you move it down to the C? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think. Oh, sorry. Yes,
yeah.
No.
Yeah, you want it to be up there.
Yes.
You're like, this is a Neil Breen movie through and through. Okay. So, this orientation, we have Tortured Crossing, Pass Through, which is your previous S tier film, you still hold that film in high regard. You haven't
I do.
budged,
No.
despite this.
Yes. I hold true.
Okay. I feel like there could be an argument made to swap those. That and
explain the tiger. Explain the shadowy figure at the end.
That's the thing.
Explain the mass murder. Look at your notes again. Rewind it back. How did you go from prehistoric tiger to Aurora Borealis mass murder?
I don't know. There was a caveman there too. We didn't really talk about him.
Yeah.
Yes. It's. But doesn't it feel weird to have it?
I don't get how you feel.
Okay. Doesn't it seem weird? Doesn't it seem a little weird that Twisted Pair,
it
as batshit as it was, you still think it, like you can watch it and kind of get an idea what's happening.
That's the point of this exercise.
Okay.
It is to look at it as a cohesive unit.
Okay. Okay. So you think definitively that.
I don't want to make the final decision. It's a discussion.
No.
But yes, I definitively feel if we are to look at this from a place of coherence, Pass Through is the weirder one. Over Twisted Pair, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the placement of Fateful Findings.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But no, you do make some good points in the sense that, like, okay, sure, the sci-fi stuff in Twisted Pair was too ambitious for his own good. However, you could make some sense of it if you really pay attention and look past the silliness, because it's so ridiculous for me that a man of his stature can be so powerful and advanced.
Yeah.
If you look past that, then you could say, okay, maybe this kind of...
Yeah, because I think, like you said at the beginning, this is not about good and bad.
Yes.
Least to best. This is about, like, the tools he had disposed to him and his, like, imagination. That's what he came up with.
Yeah.
But I don't... He like, told the story he wanted to tell.
Okay.
I feel.
Okay. And it was followed up with the sequel, which unfortunately was not as coherent.
No.
Yeah. He really just flew off the rails at that point.
Yeah.
COVID or not. I don't think. Okay. So I think, you know what? No, you make some great points, honestly. So I think that's it. I think that's it. So again, let's quick recap.
Right.
At the top of the list, the most crazy Neil Breen film. You show this to your friend who's never even heard of this man, he will come out
a changed person.
Yep. We got Cade, the Tortured Crossing. Yep. And the fact that it even is a sequel, I think makes it even more fucked up. Because if you watch it by itself, you'll have no reference or anything.
Yeah.
Number 2, we got Pass Through. And this one, again, was just an amalgamation of a lot of different ideas that don't connect with each other.
Yeah, I feel like Pass Through is like the filmmaker being like physically more delirious than like what's happening on the film.
Right.
Yeah.
Number 3, the magnum opus.
Yeah.
Fateful Findings, of course. C tier, we got Twisted Pair. This was, again, when we started getting cute with the sci-fi and the green screens, with his the prequel to Cade, the Tortured Crossing. Next up, D tier. This is which was it? This was I Am Here Now. I'm Here ... now.
Yeah.
The gang warfare.
Yeah.
Space Jesus or whatever.
Yeah. For the most part, like bookended by some weird shit, but in the middle, kind of a cut and dry kind of story. Yeah.
You're not gonna get confused.
No.
And of course, at the C tier, the most coherent and consumable film of this bunch is Double Down. His first entry, where he just a simple man trying to make his way in the universe.
Bright-eyed and bushy-tailed.
Yeah.
Want to be a filmmaker.
Yeah. And he put out just something cut and dry, secret agent, just out there to save the world. That's it. There's not much to it.
Yeah, with a hint of magic, but not too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yep.
That was it. I think I'm very comfortable with this.
Me too.
This is the definitive bad movie date Neil Breen tier list.
Yeah.
I would love to hear what people think in the comments.
Right.
Whether people agree with us or not.
I think Pass Through and Twisted Pair are going to be debated endlessly.
There is a good discussion to have there, honestly. No, like
it's
there's just, you could argue for either or.
Yeah.
You really could.
Yeah.
And this is what we settled on. So we'd like to love to see what people think in the comments below.
Yeah.
So that's it for us. I'm gonna put this up on eBay. Make some money back.
Put it on I'mHereNow.biz.
Yes. The ramblings of a madman. Okay, so yeah, that's it for us, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope everyone enjoyed their holiday. Next year, we're gonna be doing what we keep doing, finding the shittiest movies that are coming out and reacting to them. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Give us your own tier list. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks for hanging out.